Hello everyone, and welcome to Retro Brick Reviews, where today I am so excited to be able to bring you pictures of 4 upcoming LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog sets for 2023. All of these sets will be launching on August 1st, and without any further ado, let's begin by taking a look at the first set, Set 76990 Sonic's Speed Sphere Challenge. This set will be retailing for about $29.99 in the United States, and it is essentially a starter set for the line, where it includes this launcher with the eponymous Speed Sphere, which you can put Sonic inside of and launch it to have him spin dash through the courses, which I think is just such a fun feature and such a great emulation of the gameplay. But anyway, you can see that for figures, we get Sonic, who, in my opinion, looks fantastic. Obviously, this is very similar to the LEGO Dimensions modern Sonic that we got back in 2016, but, like, the eyes are bigger, the torso has more of a distinct shape to it, and he's using the same updated, more detailed legs from the classic Sonic figure from the LEGO Idea set, which I'm fine with because it looks great. You get a Flicky, as well as a Motobug, which does look a little derpier than the one we got in the Ideas set, but that is for a purpose, because if we go back to the main box picture, if you look at the Motobug, you can see that it is actually hollow, with the idea being that Sonic can knock into it and release the Flicky inside, which is just such an amazing feature. Like, again, like, that's such a great adaptation of the actual games, and it's so cool to see that, since, to my knowledge, this is the first time any Sonic merchandise has actually had the animal buddy inside of the Badniks. That's just such a cool thing, and that is consistent with every Badnik in this line. They all can have an animal put into them. But anyway, looking at the builds themselves, you can see that the launcher does have, like, the Casino Night Zone style bumper on top, which I think is great, and, like, yeah, that's great. And then for the builds, you have two main sections. We have this archway that the Motobug is on top of, which is simple. It has the more modern color scheme for Green Hill, which makes sense. And then in the back, you have a ramp, along with just some different blocks that you can knock over, with a monitor on top. And something I really like is that monitor is printed by the looks of it. And as a matter of fact, there are no stickers in this set, and I believe no stickers in any of the sets, which is just amazing to see. But then, aside from that, you'd have two smaller builds that are sort of for fun. In the background, you just have a little DJ station, which, again, is very simple and not really based on anything from the games, unless you consider that one splash screen from Sonic CD. But then up front, you also have just this little beach scene with a deck chair, a cooler, and a little table with a chili dog, and this is just such a cute little set. I think that, like, as a starter set, this is great. You get a lot of good stuff. You also get a few rings, which I haven't mentioned before, but just as it's on its own, this is just such an adorable little set, which is my favorite thing about all the LEGO Sonic sets. They're just so cute, and they have such a chill vibe to them, and I'm going to move on to the next one. There are more little references in this set, but I sort of want this to be a fairly quick and succinct little video looking at all the pictures, and then I'll do a more detailed video later on looking at all the individual Easter eggs. But next up, for $40, we have Tails' Lab and Tornado Plane. And firstly, before anything else, we have an official Tails minifigure, and he looks really good. He has a new headpiece, of course. He has a new attachment at the back to have hit both of his tails, which look great. Those seem to be double molded. And then the torso is good, and he does have short legs, which makes sense. For the longest time, I've wondered if they would do tails with short legs or mid legs, but short legs makes sense since since it seems like LEGO's going with the same height scaling between classic and modern, rather than having all the classic characters be shorter like they are in Generations. But anyway, Tails looks great. This set also has an exclusive Sonic where he has this really cute winking face. I love that so much. And then you also get a Buzz Bomber, which, again, little derpy, little chunky, but it's for a purpose because you can, in the sort of transparent bulb on the stinger, you can put the included animal buddy in there, and in this set we get Clucky, who I believe is exclusive. So that's really nice, and in fact, now that I say that, I'm pretty sure all of the animal buddies are exclusive to their respective sets, at least so far. But anyway, so then for the builds, we get two main builds, where first we have the Tornado, which looks so good. I think that having they went with the Sonic 2 type design, which I really like, with a lot of gray on the wings, which I think looks good. I like that you do have the little white stripe on there. Like, this is definitely a very classic-ish Tornado, which I think works. There are a couple studs on the wing where you can stand Sonic, and then you can fit Tails inside to pilot it. It's a very simple build, but it looks very good in my opinion. And then for Tails' Lab, it is a very simple little playset, but you have a lot of nice accessories in there. Like, you can see the Miles Electric, you have different tools all around, little different devices. Yeah, there's not too much to say about this one. It's just another really cute set. And I see this one selling really well because it's the cheapest way to get Tails, and it comes with the Tornado, which of course is very iconic, and getting that adorable alternate Sonic design is just such a fantastic little touch. Next up, at $50, we have Amy's Animal Rescue Island, which this set does not include Sonic. The minifigures we get are Tails, and yes, an official LEGO minifigure of Amy Rose. And once again, she looks really nice. She is using another brand new head mold, which looks great. A good print on the torso and legs, and then using the Minnie Mouse skirt piece with the appropriate white trim. My one thing with this Amy figure, as well as Tails, is that so far, based on all the sets we've seen, they both only have this, wide open smile, which, well, I think it's nice as a variant. I definitely would have preferred if we could have had something more neutral, like just a closed mouth smile even would have been really nice. But anyway, she also gets her Pico Pico hammer, which has pink ends, which is not really accurate to the games, but we do get a more accurate version in another set that we'll look at in a minute. And then this set also comes with a crab meat, which I don't actually mind this one being all derpy too much, because it kind of reminds me of, the more modern style of crab meat, like we've seen in, like the Sonic Lost World crab meat looks kind of like this. But again, it's for a purpose, because at the back you can see the little opening where you could put an animal buddy inside. And speaking of animals, this set includes 3 of them, where we get Pocky, we get Picky, and we get a pink Flicky, which is very exciting, because of course that is the Flicky that was released from E102 Gamma at the end of Sonic Adventure, which is such a fantastic character to get, especially in a first wave. But yeah, and then as for the build, it's just this cute little island design where, it's clearly on South Island because you still have the Green Hill checkerboard in the background. But, it's just such a cute area. You have a little pool for the animals, you have a little snack bar up top. These sets just have such a cute, chill vibe to them, and I just love that. Also, Tails gets his rocket-propelled bodyboard from the Sonic OVA, which is amazing. The last set I have to show for today, and the biggest set of this line, is Sonic's Green Hill Zone Loop Challenge for $100. So this is the big one, and you can see that for starters, it comes with another copy of that launcher, which this is the biggest set. It really should, so I'm glad it does. And then for figures, you get Sonic, who seems to be a reprint of the sort of standard smile Sonic from the $30 set. Amy, who is definitely a reprint of the Amy from the previous set, though you can see that this time the Pico Pico hammer does have the correct color scheme with the yellow handle and ends. Then we get 2 Badniks, where we get the Chopper, and we get the Chameleon Badnik, whose name I do not remember, unfortunately. But then, most excitingly for a lot of people, all the way up at the end, he's very small in the picture, because this is a big set, and we don't really have any better pictures at the moment. Again, when we get better pictures, I'll make a follow-up video going over all the finer details, but we get Eggman, and just judging by this, you can clearly see new molded head, Hagrid arms, and it looks like a new molded torso as well, so nothing brick-built this time around, which is very exciting. because while I didn't mind the brick build Eggman as much as most people did, I definitely would prefer something to this effect. Now, for the build itself, it is more Green Hill stuff, and a lot of it is disconnected, unfortunately, but you can see that we have a big loop-de-loop using the LEGO City stunt pieces, and that looks really good in my opinion. I love that build. And that goes up to a ramp, which goes through a ring, which, again, like, just very, very cute. I love that. And you can also see in front of that, you just have this sort of, like, relaxation area with Sonic and Amy, where, like, you have a little barbecue, you have a little pool with an floaty, and my mistake earlier, this set does have the same flicky from the $30 set, so honestly, looking at it, I feel like if you're getting this, if you're not a completionist, which I will be, I'm getting all these sets, but I feel like if you get this set, you could probably skip on that $30 set, because this has the same Sonic and the same flicky, and they both have the Green Hill aesthetic. But anyway, I'm getting all these sets, but the Badniks look good, and again, they all have the little holder for the animal. You get a little jet ski for Amy, interestingly. And you can also see there are a couple of pink pressure points, which there was also one in the previous set, and those are for Amy to smack with her hammer. In this case, it looks like one will fell the tree, and the other will blow up the bridge. But then at the far end, you can see that Eggman's mech actually seems to have several forms, where you can see that it has what looks like an electric arm and a saw arm, and I'm not sure what exactly either of those are specifically referencing. But then up top, you can see a stud shooter as well as some other cannons, which seem to be in reference to his mech from Sonic Adventure 2. And then down at the bottom, you can also see that you get legs for his mech, which I feel like could be another reference to the SA2 version, or with sort of the shaping, they feel a lot like the mech he has in Palm Tree Panic from Sonic CD. But anyway, and it looks like that is just a loose connection onto those legs, because the idea is you launch Sonic out of the sphere, he goes through the ring, and catapults right into Eggman, knocking him off of the mech, knocking the main Eggmobile off of the mech, which, that's just such a great feature. Like, again, like, I feel like this maybe doesn't have the best display value of all the sets, but it's just going to be so fun, honestly. And, like, yeah, this is just such a great set, and I am so excited for August 1st when it releases, along with the rest of these sets, because, yeah, LEGO has really knocked it out of the park with this Sonic theme, in my opinion. I know that there are undoubtedly going to be complaints about where's Knuckles, where's Shadow, and just based on those characters' emissions, I feel like it's very obvious that this is not going to be a one-off. We are going to get more Sonic sets, because there's no way that if this was a one-off, they would have left out those characters. And with those characters being so iconic, it makes sense to leave them for future waves, because they could easily sell whole sets on their own. And with the Knuckles series and the Sonic 3 movie coming out next year, I feel like those two characters are definitely going to be coming in 2024, but as for right now, these 4 sets are great. There is one more set coming that we do not have pictures of, which is the Death Egg Robot, that is going to be a $60 set. And I know a lot of people are going to be very excited for that, because a lot of people are still miffed over it not being in the Ideas set. But anyway, I love all of these sets. I will definitely be picking all of them up day 1 on August 1st. So please, in the comments, tell me which set is your favorite, which ones you plan on picking up, and if you like this video, why not subscribe for more? I have a LEGO Ideas set currently up based on the 1971 Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory movie. I'd really appreciate if you could take a look at that and support it if you like it. Thank you all so much for watching, and for right now, this is Retro Brick Reviews, signing off.